Welcome back to a new week on Horse Racing Today with yours truly on Money Monday with the number one co-host of all, who's really he's that way on the screen, but he's really that way on my screen. But Hollywood, hey, how are you today?
I'm doing good, and you?
It's all right. Yeah, my car, we talk about this. I had a car, it's old, broke down, and the water pump broke, and apparently you got to take the engine out of the car to put the new one back in, and we brought a couple different places, and they want me to, well, the cost is 3 or 4 times more than the car is worth, so it's time to get a new car. So I don't know how we're going to make that happen. We're going to have to hit some winning picks with some real money to get a new car. How about for you?
Oh, yeah. I think we should. That way you can get a new car. So
yeah, if anyone out there wants to sponsor us, so
yeah,
Rich can get a car, I would greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, look at Racemaster said our schedule says tomorrow, not today. So I don't know what that means.
June 4th, not June 3rd. Oh, did I accidentally put June 4th up on the
well, it says June 3rd up there, up on the top.
Lift mic up, Rich. You can't hear the mic? Oh, hold on a second. Let me see if maybe the wrong mic is on here. That could be. Audio.
I can hear you.
Yeah, it's not putting this microphone in. That's the problem. Is it off? It's on. I don't know why. Is it plugged in? Yeah, you're getting the audio from the computer, not from this one. Somehow I accidentally knocked this thing off during the weekend, and apparently it's not working that well. So maybe if I pop out and pop back in, it'll work. I don't know, Terry. But if anybody else, can you hear me at all, Race Masters, or do I need to do that? It's okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because I can hear you fine.
So right now it's just there for the aesthetic purposes. It's a prop. Makes it look like we're doing a podcast. All right, Terry. All right. So before we get cracking, one of the ways you could help, maybe I can get a really inexpensive car. Go guaranteed Horse Racing Today. See where it says HRT gear. Click on that, and you get yourself some wonderful outfits. Some Horse Racing Today. Football. We used to do football picks. We might get back to that this year. See you in the winter circle hat. You can't get that trucker hat nowhere else. My English teacher will be whacking me over the head right now. Anywhere else. Only 4 days left to get 20% off, and of course. Big week this week. It is the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga, or is it the Saratoga at Belmont Stakes? Terry, I'm confused.
Me too. I have no idea.
Yes, and I don't think they do either. But either way, or anyway, it is the Belmont Stakes. We'll have the Belmont Stakes wagering guide up as soon as we know sort of how the nomenclature works in the background for when the files are delivered, because if we misspell something, then everything goes haywire. So we got to wait to see how the information is delivered. Well, we know how we deliver information here, Terry. That is at Parx on Monday and Tuesday. We'll be off Wednesday because I'll be working on that wagering guide all day. Not my favorite thing to do, but it's a necessary thing, and it helps a lot of folks hopefully do a little bit better on those big weekends at the track. Not as big as the Belmont Stakes, but I take it equally as seriously. Terry, what's happened in the first race at Parx today?
Yeah, that's right. It's a 6.5 furlongs, $5,000 claiming race with an $18,000 purse for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since December 3rd.
And in order to get that second race since December the 3rd, 6.5 furlongs does favor stalkers. A little more than a quarter of them go wire to wire. A bit of a rail bonus for She Got Game. Hopefully the horses in the race treat her better than others in the WNBA have been treating Caitlin Clark. 2 and 3, they play a little under par. 4 through 7 are fair. 8 and out, also under par, Mr. Terry. So it looks like you want to be in the rail, or 4, 5, 6, or 7. We do 10,000 simulations looking for horses that could offer us some good value. So based upon our odds, how many times we calculate a horse is going to win a race, we create our own odds. We're not looking necessarily for the odds to be lower or higher than our sim odds. Post-time odds, we just want them to be higher. And you see a couple of them here. Based upon that output, how many times the horse out of 10,000 runs a speed figure at or above par, Here you see none of them have been able to hit that 76 on that particular angle. There are other ways to look at it too. And then finally, we also look at the early pace. We want to see who's going to be on the lead. As we mentioned, 1 out of 4 go wire to wire. And then based upon our projected pace, how likely this match will this race will match their best performances or comfort zone. I screwed all that up, Terry. Help me straighten it all out.
Okay, well, as you can see, the only real speed in this race was scratched. So that leaves the 2, 5, and 7, but they show just a little teeny bit of speed. So I really don't know who's going to get to that quarter pole first. No, and I don't think anybody else does either. Now, the 2's got an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 9 to 2. 5's got an overlay from, just over 5 to 2 to 5 to 1. And the 7 has an overlay from 5 to 1 to 10 to 1, which is pretty nice. And as you said, there's no par plus numbers at all. And the 3, 5, 6, and 4 have the 3 scratch. So it's only the 4, 5, and 6 have C zones.
Yeah, I really wanted the Rick James. She's a super freak horse to be in the race. So I can sing a little. She's a super freaky. But the 3 is not in here, so we got to take that one out. She's a super freak. We'll put that one scratched a little bit later than when we first started doing our stuff. So when we look at the race shape now, as we plot out where the horses want to be on the track when they run their best, Terry, we do see that the 6 horse is a lone E. So if Mazal 18 can get the lead, that's a good shot perhaps to take this field wire to wire. 4 and 5 want to co-pilot the 2. That one, Sensimilian. We know what that person does in their spare time. And then the 7 so far has not been within a 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. Let's see if indeed the 6 can get to the lead. I pressed the wrong button. Helps if I press the right one. Indeed, Mazal 18 is about a length and a half quicker than the rest of the horses. Sensimilian, the closer, probably going to sit in that shotgun seat. So a closer with some early pace that puts it close to the front today. We call that a left arrow horse. Also has some of the most late speed up there, but Starship Rogue just a little bit quicker, the pressure horse, but going to be behind the 2 by maybe 2 lengths or so. We put together the top total pace. Looks like it's a race between the horse that gets up front and the closer. 5 and 7 mixing in next with the 4 Anna Rocks way off the pace, Terry. You got the closer or you got the speed guy?
Well, I think that I've got the closer, Sensimilian, the 2. Finished 3rd versus similar in last race. She has the highest last speed rating. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then I like the 6 as my second choice. She drops in class today, switches to a high percentage winning jockey and has a high percentage winning trainer. She's got Game the 1, my 3rd pick. Finished in the money in 4 out of 8 starts at Parx Racing and won 2 of those races. The rail post went in at a 22% clip, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Starship Rogue, the 5, ran 2nd versus similar in the last race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Now, what we do every race is we bet $2 to win on our first choice, and then do a $1 exacta box on our first 2 choices. We do a 50-cent trifecta box on our first 3 choices, and a 10-cent superfecta box on our first 4 choices, and no other bets in this race for me.
I'm going to start off with the lead horse, Sensimilian. Much better in its late stages of the last race. Good workout since then, and going to get a little bit of a weight break today. So a couple of things working in that horse's favor today. Going to keep that momentum up from the end of the last start, and it is one of those left arrow horses. The 6 horse, when you look through the past performances, it doesn't look like it. But this one should be on the lead, as we saw with the pace setup over here, and taking a pretty decent drop in class today. She Got Game, the 1 horse, big improvement in her last race. Maybe more to come of that in the 3rd start after a layoff. And then I'm going to go, it was a tough call between the 7 and 5. Yeah, heads I took the 7, tails I took the 5. It landed on heads. But this one looks like might be the better of the 2 rogues, down in class, after having better early pace last out, and then ran a Z pattern where its early pace was higher than its mid pace, and then a rebound at the end of the race for the 2nd win. No bets for me either, because we don't have a whole lot of extra money to bet today. Race number 2, we do have a Don Johnson pick 4, Terry. That is let me get to race number 2. Press the right button and we can get going.
Yeah, well, it stretches out to a mile and 70 yards. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price. Purse 21,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
I think there are 11 races on the card today.
Yes.
7 of them, I think, are a mile and 70 yards.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of them. So keep an eye on race number 2 to get a sense of what the track bias might be for the mile and 70 yards, so you can adjust your picks. We'll also timestamp in the description when the show's over where all the races are. So if speed's holding up, you can come back and look at our pace numbers and see which one of the horses are going to get to the front and maybe make some adjustments as the day moves along. Again, at a mile, well, for the first time, at a mile and 70 yards, early speed does exceptionally well. 42%. Ronnie Lott, right, Terry?
Yeah, that's right.
Go wire to wire. There's a pretty big rail discount for the cookie, Milano. Some really good cookies right there. 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 through 7, almost fair. 8 and out also get a bonus, Terry. So early speed is a huge factor in this 5-horse race. Who are the ones that are going to set the tone?
Well, the 3 and the 4 are the ones that show the most speed. There's really no other speed in here, but it appears to me that they may go head to head to that quarter pole. The one has an overlay of about 2 to 5 or 1 to 5 to 6 to 5, and then the only other, that's the only overlay I see, and then the par number, the only one is the 1, and it's pretty nice, 51%. Well, there's a little bit for the 5, and then all of them shows some kind of C zones, although that 1 is pretty low.
Yes, you got a pretty strong par plus. So the 1 horse of 51, so 5,130 out of 10,000 times when we did our simulations hit 79 or more. In race number 2, our race shape, almost everybody wants to be middle forward. We got the 5 horse here as Jay's Delight as a lone PC, a lone P, and a lone closer. Middle forward could give horses with a little late speed an edge, but sometimes in these short races, you can get to the front, you can stay up for the front. That was then, this is now, and Jay's Delight. They should battle it out when the gates open to see who's going to take the lead. Wilkinson's Warrior will be right there, but really only a 5-point gap between worst and first. So really, any of these horses, if they choose to, could be on the lead. The end of the race, Milano has about a 1 3/4 length advantage over the rest as they come down the stretch. So if this race plays out like the pace says, and Milano's about a half a pace to a pace off the leaders, the end of the race could run by him and finish the win by about a half a length or so. And that's what we see in the top total pace. Again, everybody within 10, 11 points, you get stuck, go wide, get bumped, a little bit of a misstart. Could be the difference between finishing first or last, Terry. But yet we both put the same horse first.
Yeah, I like Milano. He finished 3rd versus Tougher in his last race, and it was the favorite. But he has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 30% of the races when he brings a beaten favorite back to race again. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Jay's Delight, the 5, my second choice, drops in class today. Should improve while returning to dirt and switches to high percentage winning jockey Paco Lopez. Number 2 should have been gone. Drop is my 3rd, drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then the 3 is my long shot, Wilkinson Warrior. He has a high percentage winning jockey, and the distance won't be a problem for him. And then I'm going to play that Don Johnson Miami Vice pick 4. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with 3, then single the 2, and then I'm going to finish up with all in the last race. That's a $17.50 pick 4.
So you have to hit those 2 middle ones, and it's all off. So if you go single in the middle and you get it right, you can't go wrong, Terry.
Yep.
I like the 1 horse Milano. Ran the top last race, speed figure last time out. 8 points clear of anybody else. That's a pretty big gap for the rest to make up, or a lot of regression out of that horse. Drop in class means it probably runs at least about the same race. The 4 horse, that was then. This is now, has some ability to hit par, some par ability. Did show some signs of life in its last race, being much, much better from the middle part of the race to the finish line. Should have been gone. The 2 horses dropping in class, and unlike the 4 that showed improvement at the end of the race, should have been gone, showed some improvement at the beginning of its last start. And then Wilkins Warrior, same story as the 2, but this one's been off since April. Would have liked to see one more work in there. Maybe I should have put the Paco horse in there instead. But nonetheless, I'm going to do a very small pick four because I got concerns that this early pick four could go very close to form. And if it does, it can be short shot over short shot over short shot. I'm going to do an $8 one, 2x2x2x2. That is the Noah pick four. With the Noah's Ark pick four.
Yep.
Off to race number 3. I think we probably got to boogie through this one, Terry, since the first race is probably about 5 minutes away. So let's make way to number 3.
Okay, another mile and 70 yards, $5,000 claiming race for purse of $18,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since December 3rd.
And at a mile and 70 yards, again, speed does really well, 40% of the time or more. Wire to wire, a little bit of a rail discount, so 7 is a breeze. Might have to work harder than its odds. 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 through 7 almost fair. 8 and out get a bonus. Speed again, the primary factor at a mile and 70 yards, Terry. And looks like we finally got one that has a lot of it.
Yeah, the 2 has quite a bit of speed, followed up by the 3 and then the 5. And then the 1 has an overlay of 2.5 to 1 to 4.5 to 1. The 2 has an overlay from almost 5 to 1 to 10 to 1. And the 5 has an overlay. Nope, the 5 does not. The 5 is the only one with a par plus number. 2 has the best C-zone, followed up by the 6, which is pretty small.
Yeah, they're both kind of weak, but should still be the most comfortable on the lead. That's where ET's Magic wants to be. Is that where ET Magic will be? It is the lone pressure horse. Everybody else is a closer. This picture says usually get to the front. You got a good chance, Terry. ET's Magic Man, 3/4 of a length quicker than the horse to its inside and 3/4 or more of a length quicker than the horses to its outside. Should be able to clear and get to the rail and get a good trip. Just a matter how fast that horse goes. At the end of the race, 7 is a breeze on the rail along with Hurricane Highway. They're about a length and a half faster than everybody else down the stretch. Our top total pace horse is that one horse. 7 is a breeze. And then the Speedster and all these other ones are tightly mixed in here. Maybe just put an X through long gray line, put the 1 on top, and then single it up with your favorite one of these in here, Terry. What did you do?
But I went with number 5, Wizard Surrett, ran second versus similar last race, has the highest last speed rating, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 21% of the claiming races. He has a horse running in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey as well. Number 3, Dr. Doom, can improve while returning to a route, switches to high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And the 3, it's my second choice. The 6, Hurricane Highway, my third choice, finishing the money in 9 out of 16 starts at Parx Racing. And he won 2 of those and drops in class today. The 1, 7 is a breeze. My long shot has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 18% of the claiming races he has horses in, and the distance will not be a problem for him. No other bet.
I have a problem today. I can't watch the races today, Terry.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why. I had to do something, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Let me do something and see if this works real quick. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'm going to go ahead and start with the 5 horse 2. Upped its speed figure in the last 4, top last race speed figure, 5 points clear of the next closest horse. Again, Andrew Beyer says the horse ran a speed figure 3 points clear of anybody else, one that you absolutely have to consider. 7 in the breeze is that top total pace horse by 8 points, usually enough to get the job done. At worst, be in second or third. Should absolutely make a run for the win. It should be closer to the front than it's used to against these. Hurricane Highway might not look like it on paper, but it did run some better fractions last out. It hints that the horse might be coming to form. And then ET's Magic Man, really good shot for this one to be on the lead. 10-pound weight break. That's a 2-length advantage. So if it can get to the front, decent fractions, carrying that less weight could be a difference maker. I don't know why I can't watch the races, Terry. I think I know why, but I can't. So I had to do some stuff to get like a dedicated ISP, and now I have like NordVPN. So I wonder if I turn the VPN off for a minute, if that'll make a difference. Then I have to turn it back on, right? Let's see. Let me pause it for 1 hour. Am I still there?
Yeah, but you were froze for a minute. Now you're back.
Let's see if that made a difference on the if I can watch the races now. I don't know. I have to figure all this stuff. I know sometimes these things with VPNs, they won't let you use it because they can't tell what state you're in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I had to turn the VPN off.
So you got it now?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about that because I need to have the dedicated IP address for something. I don't know how that works, but I am not the most tech savvy. All right, so they're off and running in race number 1, and the 6-horse, like we saw here. Well, not really. Yes, the 6-horse Mazel 18 with a good shot to get to the lead actually has the lead. The 7-horse Madame Rogue of the 2 Rogue horses is indeed in second place. The 1-horse after that, she got game on the rail with the 2 Sensimilian. That horse in between the 1 and the 6 as they come through the opening quarter in 23-1. Got a gap of about 3 horses back to the 5-horse Starship Rogue. And then trailing the pack right now, Anna Rocks, looking like she's not interested in being involved in this race at the moment. The 6-horse continues to set the tone with the 2-horse Sensimilian trying to come up on the side there. They ran 47-4. The 1-horse on the rail really trying to make its way into the mix here, but it looks like this race is going to be up to the 6-horse to win. The jockey has not asked for anything yet, so reins are still loose, looking between the legs. The 6-horse Mazel 18 to the front, on the front, and staying on the front, Mr. Terry. Question is, how is this race going to end? It's going to end 6, 2, 1, and then I think the 4 is going to clip the 5 at the wire. Yes, 6, 2, 1, 4, 5, and then the 7, Madame Rogue, just kind of strolling in 7, 8 lengths up the track, 7, 8 lanes up the track. So 6, 2, 1. Both of us with the opening trifecta, opening exacta in our picks. Just missing out on the superfecta for you, Terry, with that 5, with the 4 Anna Rocks making a strong closing effort. But we saw the speed get to the front and hold on some pretty good fractions, Terry. So maybe one of those days where speed holds on a day at those 1.70 yards where a lot of speed matters.
That's right.
So we're off to race 4 now?
Yep, race 4.
All right, let's do race number 4. Again, 1.70 yards.
Yeah, second one in a row, and it's or his third one in a row.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of them.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races.
And at 1.70 yards, again, 40% go, a little more than that, touch more, go wire to wire. There is a bit of a rail discount. 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 through 7 almost fair. 8 and out also get an edge, Terry. So speed, we just saw in the opener. Speed's going to be the way. It looks like one of them is the way.
Yeah, the two shows a lot of speed in here, and the only other 2 are the 3 and the 4 have some speed, and then the 3 shows the only par plus number. The 3 also is the overlay, which goes from about 3 to 5 to 3 to 1, and then the all of them have some kind of a comfort zone number, although 2 or 3 of them are pretty low.
Yeah, the 3, 4, and 5, well above the 50% threshold that we want to see. A little bit of a green go action here for Whiskey Prize, the top C zone. Second place on that early speed, the only par plus, and the sim favorite. So maybe the horse to really focus on here is the 3-horse. We'll see if that's indeed. Well, we do have him in our picks. Let's see if he does get any in-race advantages. Well, nobody really wants to be the pilot. Everybody prefers to be a co-pilot or back. Again, in this scenario, get to the front, do so with some easy fractions, and you can go wire to wire. Stavros and Whiskey Prize, those 2 horses, the PC types, they have versatility. They can get to the lead, but they don't need to lead. So if the trainers and the connections see the same thing we see and somebody decides to send at crazy fractions, those 2 don't need to go along for the ride. At the end of the race, imagine this, the closer has the most late speed, about 1.5 lengths, but going to be 2 lengths off, I think, the early pace. So maybe not enough late speed to win, but much like the 4-horse we just saw in the last race, close up into second or third. Looks like Whiskey Prize, Terry, is about 3/4 of a length better than everybody else from a total pace edge. We both put that one in second with the 2 on top.
That's right. I like Stavros. He won his last race at Delaware Park, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and the combination in the last 14 days been in the money 7 out of 11 starts with 5 wins, 2 seconds. With number 3, Whiskey's Prize, with my second choice, drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 4, Major Cam, is my third choice, finished third versus similar in his last race. He can improve at the shorter distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with another, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 1, imagine this. He drops in class, his highest speed figure at today's distance. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. He's my long shot. And then I'm going to play another 50-cent Don Johnson, Miami Vice, pick 4. I'm going to use the 2-3-4 with the 2-4-5-7 with the 4-1-4 with the 1-6, $24 cost.
I get to answer your question, Carlos. The races today are at Parx in Bensalem, Pennsylvania, suburb of Philadelphia. I too have Stavros as the top selection. Maybe I should flip that to the 3, Terry. But Stavros just needs to rerun the race he just ran. And the resume says that this one, the third one after layoff, could be better and maybe a lot better than that last one. So if we get the same or better, it'd be really hard for even Whiskey Prize to overcome that. Although Whiskey Prize is really consistent performer at a level that wins at this level, drops back to a class where the last time he ran, he finished second. So we'll put him at second again today. Major Cam, the 4-horse, this also has a shot to be a part of the early pace and getting a weight break today. So taking some weight off with a little bit of early speed can help him hold that speed deeper into the race. And then finally, the 6-horse, Food Foodie. All right. Could surprise in his second start at Parx after coming in from Laurel Park. The 1-horse was next up for me. It was a tough call between those two, but I decided to go with a little bit bigger price in that regard. I too am going to do a pick 4, 2 by 2, by 3 by 4, almost a 1, 2, 3, 4. But we'll be doing some of those 1, 2, 3 pick 4s in the not too distant future, where we have 1 pick in one leg, 2 picks in another leg, 3 picks in a third, and then 4th picks in another leg. Race number 5 is the next leg of this card. Terry, what's going on? I got a feeling it's going to look a lot like some of the other ones we did.
Yeah, it's a mile and 70 yards, a claiming race, $5,000 claiming price, a purse $18,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since December 3rd. And I'm going to make a change in the 4th race. I saw a mistake I made. So,
all right, so you can go ahead and make that change, and we can come back to it.
Yeah.
Indoctrinate is on the rail. The rail, as we mentioned before, does get a little bit of a discount. If you look at 2 and 3, get a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, almost fair. 8 and out, get a bonus again. The best way to the winner's circle at $170 in the Bensalem Dirt is to be near or on the front with 42% going wire to wire. Terry, in the 5th race of 11, who's going to be on the lead?
Well, the 5 shows the most speed, and the 4 and the 7 have a little bit of speed. They may give a little bit of push to that 5, but who knows? The 1 has an overlay from 7.5 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 4 has an overlay from 2.5 to 1 to 4 to 1. And the 5 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 8 to 1. The 5 shows the only par plus number in all of them, but the 5 shows the C zone.
So a lot of conflicting information there. Let's see if we can sort it out. Very balanced race. 2 on the front, 2 on the back, 3 in the middle, what hamburgers used to look like, small buns, big beef. Now it's big buns, no beef. But we'll go with what we have here. The 1 and 5, if one of them can get to the lead, they got a good shot to go wire to wire. Sure looks like Jebologist is the speed of the speed. You do have the 4 and 7. Stalker's going to be in that stalking position. The 1 right there. Looks like the only horse that might be out of position is T-Win Not Pass. To win, not pass. Not sure what that says. Late speed, the Jebologist, not only does it have the most early speed, it has the most late speed theory. Could be very difficult to pass what you can't catch. And because of that, Jebologist has a 10-point total pace edge over the rest of the field. Usually enough to win, but at worst be a part of the equation for the trip to the winner's circle. I got that one on top. You have it in the back. Why do all these others deserve to be in front of it?
Well, I think Smarten Up has a high speed figure at today's distance and a high percentage winning trainer. And this trainer wins 21% of the claiming races he has a horse running, and has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 7, It Was the Devil's Idea, is my second choice. His likes Parx racing. He's been in the money 64% of his starts here. He's won 14% of those races, and the distance won't be a problem. He's been in 70% of the races at today's distance in the money, and he's won 10% of those races. Social Group, the 4, has a high percentage winning jockey, and he can handle the distance. And then I like the 5, Jalabus. He drops in class today, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. My long shot. No additional bets in here for me.
So Brando Beeb 76. Brandon put 500 on the Parx. Cents a million in the opener to place. He says he likes Michael Sanchez, the right jockey for that, of course. I'm going to start off with Jabologist, the 5-horse tier. A little bit of a price in there. I don't think it'll go off at 8-1. If it does, maybe I can put a few bucks on it and go buy a car. But it does have the top early speed and late speed. Top total pace, 10 points clear of everybody else. And as I mentioned, if you can't catch it and he's got more late speed, how do you pass it? Yeah. Number 6, oh boy, Win Not Pass. To win, not pass. There you go. I'm expecting this horse to put a better race on the track in its second start after layoff, especially considering the first one, it was the top last race speed figure, a lucky 7 points better than anybody else. Indoctrinate, the 1-horse. Boy, I should bet my $7 in this race because this looks like the one where I got the most prices. This one showed better pace from the turn to the finish line. If you read any old handicapping book, you'll see that the old timers used to love those horses that made big moves on the turn. If this horse continues that in the second race after a layoff, that momentum could carry him right into the winner's circle. And then finally, the 2-horse, Smarten Up. Mr. Terry drops in class, has enough back class to win this race and making the classic third start after a layoff. Did 5 to win 400 at Thistle in race 1, about the run. So we do appreciate, we do appreciate. Keep an eye on that race, Terry, and see how that won. The 5-horse, right?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to go off to the 6th race. And if, like Brandon or Race Masters, you have any questions, comments, suggestions, kindly let us know in the or picks. Let us know in the comments section. We greatly appreciate it. If you like what you see here, a couple things you can do. Thumbs up, follow us. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet. You know the routine. Make sure you hit the follow button, the like button, the subscribe button, the bell, everything that you can possibly hit to know when we're going live. And then, of course, share our content with your friends. We greatly appreciate that. We're going to do 6 now, right?
That's right. We're going to go at a mile 70 yards again. It's a claiming race, $5,000 claiming price, $18,000 purse for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won 2 races since December 3rd.
So a lot of these conditions are really similar. So they must have really kind of booked up and then just decided to keep them all together. That's my guess. Same race, just different horses, different entries that can get in. Again, speed wins. We know that. We know that you want to be probably on the inside or on the outside. So you want to be, 4 through 7? Let me look at the post positions again. So a little bit of a discount from the rail. 2 and 3, a bonus. 4 through 7, almost fair. 8 and out, get a bonus. So 2, 3, or 8 or more. But still, just be fast in race number 6, Terry. And who's just going to be fast?
Well, let me say the 2's got the most speed, as you can see there, and the 4 is the only other one that really has any speed. The 1 has an overlay from 4 to 5 to 2 to 1, and the 2 has an overlay from about 7 to 2 to 9 to 2. The 1 and the 2 show the only par plus numbers, and then all but the 2 show C zones. And unfortunately, the 5 at Thistletown went with the 1. The 1 showed more stamina. The 5 kind of died to 3rd, and the 3 came on to get 2nd. So sorry about that.
Well, maybe we can make it back here in this race at Parx. So in the 6th race, our pace setup tells us that the 6-horse, look out, classy miss. Loney, although the 1, 4, and 5, some flexibility in their ability. So the 6 goes too slow, these guys will put heat on it. If it goes too fast, they'll sit in the back and see what happens. But the question is, does the 6 get the lead? It might get the lead, but a trio of horses look much quicker, like Princess Sophie or 2, Canoodle. There you go. Another one of those left arrow horses, Terry. that can get to the front and won't forget how to close. And again, we do see here, it is a length faster than everybody else in the stretch. We also see that Canoodle is 11 points the best top total pace horse in here. A couple more in the 6 and the 1 fitting in there, and then a gap down to the rest. So just maybe, here you go, a trifecta, 2 over to 6-1, or exacta 2 over to 6-1, and maybe you can make back a few of those bucks if that's how total pace plays. Terry, how did you play it?
Well, I started with the 1, Just Stay Home. She won her last race at Parx Racing. She has the highest last speed rating. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 38% of the routes. He has a horse running in, and it has a high percentage winning jockey. Princess Sophie is my second choice, the 4. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Beyond a Million is my third choice. Number 3, she finished third versus similar in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. The 6, Classy Miss, is my third, or my long shot. Likes Parx Racing, been in the money 44% of the time, winning 19% of those races, and she can go the distance. Canoodle, unfortunately, is my first alternate. But I did play 50-cent pick 4, and I played the 1, 3, 4, 6 with the 1, 2, 6 with the 6, 7 with the 1, 3, 6. That's a $36 ticket.
I'm going to go with the 1 horse, Just Stay Home. My top selection too, but it was a real tough call between it and the 2. 3 consecutive speed figure increases that ended up with the speed figure that was 6 points better than anybody else, although I think that could change a little bit. The resume says this horse will up that speed number in the second start after a layoff. Canoodle, as we saw, is the top total pace horse, should be close to the front, and the most late pace by more than a length. So I think the 2's best chance is to sit off the lead and then try to run by at the end. If not, Princess Sophie, much better pace and fractions in the first off the claim for trainer Kathleen Damasi. So maybe more improvement in the second race after the claim for Ms. Damasi. And then finally, Beyond a Million gets a weight break, has a very strong late pace advantage over the rest of these. Not all the time, but at times really can fire up the jets at the end of the race. I'm going to do a pick 4 and hope that those jets aren't on today for Beyond a Million. I'm going to go 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 6, 7, 1, 6, 7, and then 1, 5. So maybe it'll just go red, 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 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way across the board. And like we see some of those players bet in those horse racing contests, Terry, and then win, which drives me bananas. No handicapping, just pick a number and win a handicapping contest.
That's right.
It seems like that should be illegal. Yep. Race number 7, Terry, what are we going to do? Once again,
mile 70 yards again, getting a little boring, but anyway, it's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, $21,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 4 races.
And if you want to know what the profile of a winner is, rewind to back some of the previous races. Just know you got to be fast, Terry. And in race number 7, well, it looks like a couple of them have the most speed when the gates open.
Yeah, the 3 shows way more speed than anybody else. The only one that's pretty close is the 7, followed up by the 6. So I think that 3 should get to that quarter pole first. The 1 has a small overlay, very small. The 3, you just, I won't even talk about it. But anyway, the 2 has an overlay. No, it doesn't really.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does, yeah.
2
to 1 to 5 to 1, yeah. And the 6 has the only par plus number. All but the 2 and 5 show C zones, and they're really nice C zone numbers.
Yeah, all of those ones that are green are dark green, above 80% probability that this race will match some of their previous starts, and 27% chance that Chip's friend, the 6 horse, runs a speed figure of 81 or better today. That's our par plus score. Our race trip lets us know, this race could favor the 7 or 3. They want to be up front, although the 1 and 6 do have a little bit of versatility. The 2 is a closer. So far, the 5, Forever Wicked, has not been within a handful of lengths of the winner when they cross the finish line. When they cross the quarter-mile marker, it does look like Sailor's Return and Running Joke, the 2 we saw in the simulations, will be right 1-2. And exactly where they want to be with the 6 and 1 in a closing position and the 2 ready to close. So everybody should be exactly on the track where they want to be in this race. And then as they come home, the closer will close. It's about a length and a half faster than everybody else, about a length and a half behind everybody else. So it should be a mad dash to the finish line. We do see that we have 4 of them within 5 points and 5 of them within 10 points, within 2 lengths of each other. But it does look like, well, I would just look at these 1, 6, 2, 7 in some order, Terry. Do you want the speed? Do you want the closers? I think speed's going to do a little bit better today, Terry. Which way did you go?
I like number 6, Chip's Friend. He won his last race. Parx Racing has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 66% of the races when dropping a horse off a win, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. The one win giant is my second choice. When 3 has a win out of 3 starts at Parx Racing, and the distance will not be a problem. Dad's on a Roll is the 2 is my third choice. Finished third versus similar in his last race. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And Running Joke, the 3 is my long shot. Has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets in here for me.
Yes, I'm going to do the 1-horse Win Giant. Hopefully he gets a giant win today. Did run some better fractions last out. Really consistent performer. Where its average race would win at this level with some occasional upside pop. So we get that upside pop today. Could be an easy win. If not, Chip's Friend, Terry's top pick, drops after going wire to wire in his last race. Did so a little bit faster fractions at 1 mile than 7 furlongs in the start before that. So should he have some additional endurance today? We should see that hopefully play out. But I do feel like maybe that extra 70 yards might work to his disadvantage because he ran a mile last time out and just almost got caught. 70 yards would have made a difference last time. Number 2, Dad's on a Roll. Just missed at this level last out. Going to make a lot of noise at the end of the race. Will it be enough to win it? And then Sailor's Return, the 7-horse. This is a pretty interesting thing. So I like to look at cycles. Usually pairs strong efforts on that 7-horse. Maybe didn't rank out as well as I wanted to rank some others. But if you look at this horse, when he runs, you see here like paired a couple of good races in a row, paired a couple more good races in a row, kind of put a couple of stinkers in, put another good one in. So I'm expecting him to pair them up and put a good effort in today. So I'm looking for the pair, whatever that means. All right. All right, we're going to go off to race number 8 now on this 11-race card, Terry. Are we going to get away from 1 mile and 70 yards finally?
Nope. We're going to go back to 1 mile 70 yards again. And it's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price. Purse $21,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won 4 races.
Well, a belly full of races where you got to be fast. 2 and 3 and 8 and out have the advantage. So, I almost feel like Groundhog Day, Terry. Where's the speed, my man?
Way on the outside there, that 7 has all the speed in the world, according to this. The 4 shows a little bit of speed, and the 1, 2, some small, itty bitty. And then the 1 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 7 to 2. The 7 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 5 to 2. The 6, 7, and 1 show the only par plus numbers. And all but the 3 have C. Jones' own numbers. So there you go.
And we got a green go horse with Goldiness today. Strong C zone, second best, number 1 on the lead, so should be very comfortable setting the pace. Also has the second best par plus, and it is the simulation favorite. So a lot of reasons. I hope that doesn't turn into a Tom horse. Low odds, second place in the 8th race. The race shape, the 4 and 7 want to be up front. 6 can have some versatility. The red, white, and blue, they want to close. Let's see how the race lays out according to pace. Well, Goldiness is about 2.5 lengths faster than a big bad in Bouger. So if the 4 tries to keep up, could see its legs get a wobbly and tire late, although Goldiness looks like it has a little bit of issues at times holding on at the end. Sirenetta, along with Dixie Groove and Lulu's Dancer, they're a lot faster than everybody else. So this race looks like it's going to be between the 2 speed horses and the 3 closers to see who gets the win. So the 4 and 7 have to be careful to keep those fractions within range. If not, Dixie Groove matches Goldiness for the top total pace. You got a race here where you have all but lip lock within a length and a half of each other. Very tight affair, Terry. You think the 7 goes wire to wire?
I do. She drops in class today. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 28% of the races. In the second start with this trainer, she can improve while returning to a route, and she has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best speed is fastest among today's starters. Look at all those boxes she just marked off. Anyway, the 6 Dixie Groove is my second choice, won 2 out of the last 3 races. Finished third versus similar last race and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 1 Lulu's Dancer is my third choice. She ran second her last race. She has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer as well. And then I like the 4 is my long shot. She ran third versus similar her last race and has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play the very last pick 4, which is Miami Vice Don Johnson. I'm going to use the 1, 4, 6, 7 with the 1, 3, 6. I'm going to use the 1, 5, 7, 9. Finish up with the 1, 4, and that's a $48 ticket.
So here you have the 3 for some reason. So let's change that to the 1. 1.
Oh, I had it wrong.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's okay. We got it corrected. Real quick, because they're going to get in this race going on race number 2. I'm going to go with the 7-horse Goldiness. Way too much early speed not to put this one on top. Dixie Groove, very consistent numbers that win at this level, and last race out ran a lot faster. Number 1, Luli's Dancer, much better pace and fractions in the last race, and it did result in a speed figure 3 points clear of everybody else. And then Lip Lock has a lot of late speed in its last 2 races and should be right off the pace with this group. So if that late pace shows up today, that could be the upsetter in there, Lip Lock. Pick 4 for me, 3 by 4 by 4 by 2. Terry, pretty similar structure for you and I. And they're off and running in race number 2. As they go around the turn right now, it looks like the 2-horse should have been gone, is gone at the moment, Terry. And then behind it, we have the 3-horse and then the 4-horse. And then next up, gap to the 5 horses. They go through the opening quarter and the turn in 23. Looks to me like the 4-horse could have a difficult trip because he had to go too wide around the turn right in there. I don't see him in there. There he is. He's kind of hidden well behind there. The 5 is trying to make up ground as the 2 continues to set the tone. The question is, can anybody run those horses down? They come down around the backstretch here. The 2-horse continues to hold the lead. Looks like the jockey standing up tall on the 3. They got to slow it down a little bit, 47-4 in the opening half. I think the 3-horse is going to be tough to contend with here, although the 1-horse has decided to engage, and he's coming up quick, wiggling through traffic. I think he's going to run by everybody here at the end and make this one maybe look a little bit easy, Terry, when it's all said and done. There he goes. Boom, 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 boom. Now he's just got to find a gap here. And then a 2-horse might not let him through on the rail. He's definitely going to press him, but really no problem getting through. So it's going to go 1, then the 2, then the 3. The question is who's going to finish 4th, but it's going to be clearly 1, 2. And an easy win for the cookie, Milano, which came from dead last.
Yeah, way far back, too.
Yeah, and he's going to win by about 15, maybe 1, 2, 3, and then the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is how it went. Right in order. And then the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many times do you see that?
Yeah, not too often.
No. 1, 2, 3, 5, 3-5, over 5-2, over 11-1, over 10-1. And that's the way that, and I'm sure they're not going to have a superfecta in a 5-horse race.
Well, I was hoping for a long shot in there, but didn't get it.
No. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with all, right?
It is. A lot of times, yeah.
Always seems to happen to me. The other day, I got an all, and I got a good one, and then I got only 3 out of the 4 legs. I missed that last leg. And my horse, if you remember, finished second, and I was crying because Irad jumped in to take over. So we're going to do 9, 10, and 11 now. Is that right?
That's right.
Yes. So 3 horses to go on this Monday, filled with a lot of races, 11 of them. Hey, we're going to get away from 6.5 furlongs. I mean, from a mile and 70 yards.
Yeah, we're going to drop back to 6.5 furlongs, claiming $5,000 claiming price, purse $18,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since December 3rd.
And we get to talk about the different kind of profile of the winner. 28%, Marshall Falk going wire to wire. There's a rail bonus. So Collins Gray Lady could outrun those 2-1 morning line favorite odds. Or one of the favorites anyway. 2 and 3 are under par. 4 through 7 fair. 8 and out under par. So it looks like you want to be on the rail with speed, Terry. If you can do that, you have a really good shot to win here. And looks like the one Collins Gray Lady does have some wheels.
It does, but there's a couple others that may have something to say about it. That 3 and that 4, they all have pretty similar speeds. So anyone's guess here. The 1 has an overlay from about 7.5 to 2-1. The 5 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 8 to 1. None of them show any par plus numbers. And then all but the 7 shows some kind of C zones, although the 4, 5, and 6 are pretty low.
Yeah, no, 1, 2, and 3, all that 50% or better. In the 8th race, we did that one, race number 9. Look at the 5 horse over here, Loney. Can go get some company from the 3. So the 3's got some versatility. Can pilot or co-pilot. 1 and 4 want a co-pilot. 2 and 6 want to close. The 7 so far, Oui Madame, not within 5 lengths of the winner when the race was over. When the race gets started, Collins Gray Lady could be the quickest of the quick, although the 3 will be there too. Awesome Pal in that mix. Those 4 should duke it out. The 6, 2, and 7 well behind. So they'll take up the closing roles, try to find a way to get a good saving ground trip. Meladoia, the 2 horse, is the best of the closers. Oui Madame may not be part of the early pace today, could find its way within 5 lengths of the winner. Maybe, maybe not. And then finally, Takes 2 to Wiggle is your top total pace source, 4 points or 3/4 of a length over Collins Gray Lady and Awesome Pal. Pretty good drop off from there. So 415 exact, the trifecta box is your top total pace play. What's your play here?
I like the 1 Collins Gray Lady as my top pick. Drops in class today. Rail Post win in a 22% clip. She has a trainer, wins 23% of the races, went running in the second race after claiming a horse. So she has a high percentage winning jockey too. Wishing on a Prayer is my second choice. The 3 drops in class today, won 31% of her races at Parx Racing, and the distance won't be a problem as she's finished or won 40% of those races at today's distance. Fancy Philly, the 6, my third choice, can improve while returning to a sprint, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. The 5 Awesome Pals, my long shot, finished 3rd versus similar in her last race and has the highest last speed rating. No additional bets in here for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. Awesome Pal, your long shot is my pick to win. It did run a speed figure last time out. It was 12 points better than everybody else's.
Yeah.
Going to get a weight break today. So every reason to think the horse will be as good, if not better, off of that weight break. Its CV tells you that the 3rd up is going to look almost exactly like the 2nd up. If this race looks anything like the last race, all these other horses are going to have to come up a lot to beat Awesome Pal. That's what the history says we can expect out of Awesome Pal today. I hope we get 8 to 1. If not, Collins Gray Lady is going to drop in class. Last time out, the horse showed some early speed and then faded. That was a rout. So cutting back to 6.5 furlongs today and getting a rail trip could be the difference makers. Fancy Philly gets the 3rd spot for you and me locked in there. Maybe a tough, troubled trip. There you go, Rich. Give yourself a tongue twister in the tough, troubled trip, the alliteration. In her last race, another horse today, we're taking a little bit of distance off, could work to its benefit. And then the 3 horse, Wishing on a Prayer, going to go down in class in that first start after a layoff. It's an all or nothing horse, Terry. 14 races, 4 wins in a 3rd, 10-pound weight break. But its first off the bench record's really kind of 50-50 at best. So, and the same thing holds true. The horse is either going to win or run off the board, one or the other. Race number 10 begins to be the late daily double. Mr. Terry, I think we're going to stay away from a mile and 70 yards, but we're going to go back to a route if memory serves.
That's right. It's 1 mile and it's an optional claiming race. If you elect to put your horse in here to possibly be claimed, it can be claimed for $16,000. Purse is $25,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have started for $16,000 or less, which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $16,000, and which have never won 2 races.
Yeah, tomorrow, Race Masters, I'll make sure that this is more than a prop. Today, I don't know why it's not. Like I said, it got knocked down. I was doing a little bit of cleaning around here, and I guess I'm not too skilled at cleaning. I'm knocking things over and making bigger messes than I started off with. I just leave things be. So at a mile, The profile of winner favors early speed. Boy, Terry, 1 out of 2 horses that gets to the lead never, ever gives it up. Dance on a Dinny on the rail gets a bonus. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, they get squeezed. The absolute best post position to have is an 8 or out. So if you're on the outside with some speed, you got a chance, Terry, and the speed is on the outside.
That's right. That 7 and 9 show the most speed in here, followed up by the 2. And then the 1 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 5 to 1. The 9, 7, and 1 have the only par plus numbers in here. And then also all but the 6 and 7 show some C zones, and most of them are very good.
Just from all of our simulations, it looks like there is a wide open affair here. You can make a case for a lot of horses based upon what we see there. In the 10th spot, the 9 horse, Alone E, Rush Center. If that one can get to the lead, Terry, look out. The 5 horse, Matscari, could be scary as the lone PC horse in there, but everybody wants to be middle back. If you get to the front, a really good chance to take this field wire to wire, and I feel lucky tonight. Well, that one's about a length and a half quicker than everyone else, Terry. Another one of those left arrow horses in there, a closer with enough early speed to really be on the lead here. Won't forget how to close out a race. Rush Center, well, the exact opposite story here. If that one gets to the lead, it has the most late speed, might not give up the lead, Terry. Top total pace does belong to Rush Center. And then I feel lucky tonight. So the 2 horses that are most likely to be up to the front have the best chance to win according to total pace. And we put neither one of them in the first spot.
Nope, I like Matscari, the 5. Won 2 out of the last 3 races. Running second versus Tougher in his last race. Has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 40% of the races in the first start that he has for this trainer. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. I feel lucky tonight was a 7. He's knocking at the door, finishing 3rd in his last start, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Dansadini, number 1, is my 3rd choice, has the highest last speed rating. He's tied with another. The rail post is winning a 24% clip, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Rush Center, the 9, my long shot, finished 2nd versus 7 in his last race as a favorite, but the high percentage winning trainer wins 26% of those races when he brings that beaten favorite back to race again, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets here.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go with the 1 horse is my top choice. To start off the late double, Dansadini, similar fractions at $1.70 as he ran at 1 mile as a maintenance workout between races. So, and a good shot to be a par plus horse in there. I think it's a pretty open race in here. Rush Center, the 9 horse, should really get a good stalking position, has the most late speed for those that'll be forward, Terry. And if he can get to the lead, Loney, look out. He goes wire to wire if he's up front early. Number 7, I feel lucky tonight. If that one can get to the lead, look out, because it is a left arrow horse with a fairly aggressive early pace advantage. Then finally, your top pick, Matscari, is the lone PC horse. They can be awfully dangerous too. Going to drop in class and is dropping in from Tampa Bay Downs. Terry, first time we saw that angle, it did look like a track drop. But the next couple of times we saw that angle, it did not look like a class drop. So maybe Matscari can break that tie. Julie K. Mumford, thank you for the love. We appreciate you joining us as always. Hope things are going wonderfully well in your neck of the woods. Last race of the day, my friend, is race number 11. Terry and I will be back to do Parx again tomorrow, same time, about 20 minutes before post. And then on Wednesday, and hopefully I'll put the right day in there, Race Masters. On Wednesday, we'll be off as I will be preparing all of the Saratoga at Belmont Stakes material for Guaranteed Tip Sheet. The material is already in place today. If you want to bet Prairie Meadows, looks like a really nice track if you've ever driven across Interstate 80 and made your way through that part of the country. It looks like a growing area of the country, too. So a lot of bugs there, though. Like when you're driving across Interstate 80 in Iowa, it's like pop, 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 pop on your windshield. So my advice is make sure you're uploaded with all the windshield washer fluid if you drive through that part in the summer, at least anywhere in spring. Again, help us out by going over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. And then also by horseracingtoday.net. Hit on that HRT gear and see you in the winner's circle trucker hat as you're driving across Interstate 80 in Iowa, so you fit in when you stop at the rest areas. All right. Last race of the day, Terry, for you and me today is at Parx. It is the lucky 1-1 race. What do we got?
6.5 furlongs, a maiden claiming $25,000 claiming price, purse $26,000 for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
And at 6.5 furlongs, about 3 out of 10 go about wire to wire. Stalkers, being middle forward, you have a really good chance to win. There's a rail bonus for Dream within 8. Dream 2 and 3 under par, 4 through 7 play fair, 8 and out under par. Terry, have you ever had a dream within a dream, an inception moment?
No, I never have.
I've had some weird dreams. I had one time called a shared dream.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with those?
No.
So that's kind of like when you're dreaming and you feel like the person you're dreaming about, or is that in your dream, is having the same dream with you at the same time.
Oh, okay.
It was really kind of weird, but that's kind of what the movie Inception is about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a first girlfriend moment out in a dream together. It was just really kind of weird. But anyway, Dream Within a Dream does get a little bit of a rail bonus. If anybody else has had a shared dream, share that with us in the comment section. That would make for some good conversation. As far as our data is concerned, Terry, where is the speed in race number 11?
Well, it's really all the speeds in that fourth position, although one shows some speed. And then the one has an overlay from about 3 to 5 to 6 to 5, and the 8 has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 5 to 1. None of them show any par plus numbers. And then all but the 2 and 8 show C zones, especially that 3, which has a really nice, and the 6 C zones.
Crack at the code. Something we all wish we can do, it get the hell out of the matrix, right?
Yeah.
All right. So as far as our race shape is concerned, in the final race of the day, 1, 4, and 6 want to be fast. The 8 wants to close. The 2 and 3, so far, they haven't shown an interest in being anywhere near the finish line to go to that trip to the winner's circle. The 5 horse, Prince Lucas, making its first start of the day, of the year, of its career. Early speed does belong to My Heart Will Goon, the 4 horse. That one's about a length and a half faster than the Dream Within a Dream. So the 4, very likely pace setter here at the end of the race as they carry their way home. Cary Grant, Whoosh, Crack the Code, Star of Caesarea. Those 4 are going to be quicker than everybody else. This one looks like it has a chance, really can go just about any which way. Minus the first-time starter, Terry, they're all within a length and a half of each other. So you get bumped, go wide, get blocked. You could be first. You could be worst. Maybe this is an all-leg, Terry, but you don't have that luxury. So what did you do?
I like, as my pick of the day at Parx, the number 1 horse, Dream Within a Dream. Finished second in her last race. The rail post winning 22% clip. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like the number 4, My Heart Will Goon, is my second choice. Finished 4th in her last race, has the favorite, but has a high percentage win trainer. And this trainer wins 19% of the time when he brings a favorite back. And blinkers are added today. Number 6, Crack the Code, my third choice, finished in the money in 2 of her last 3 starts. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. She's actually tied with the horse that I talked about above. And Whoosh, the 8 is my long shot. She finished 3rd versus similar at Parx race. She can improve while returning to a sprint. I'm going to bet my only $7 left on the number 1 horse to win.
Yes, indeed. If you haven't done so kindly yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, retweet on Twitter, share our content across your social sites with your friends that you know like to do a little bit of horse racing. Terry and I did a little surprise thing on Thursday where we did the entire card live at Churchill Downs. That seemed like it went over pretty well, right, Terry?
It did, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we'll probably do a little bit more of that kind of stuff. And the only way you're going to know about it, Terry, is to make sure you're subscribed. So don't be a loser. Don't be like 9 out of 10 that don't hit the subscribe button. Be a winner and hit the like button. Hopefully the 1 horse is your winner, Dream Within a Dream, Terry, because that's the one we both have on top. It is your pick of the day. It did run the speed figure 6 points better than anybody else last time out with better early speed, usually an indication of a horse that's going to be better in its next start. Another indication is when they run faster fractions, and Dream Within a Dream did that too. So maybe there is a such thing as a shared dream. Number 2, Star of Caesarea. This one's coming in from Keeneland, Terry, and has some really good, strong Parx workouts getting ready. So it is a track dropper. It looks like, according to the workouts, it's taking to the Parx track. So maybe a hidden horse for the course that's going to emerge today. Number 4, My Heart Will Goon. I guess that's English soccer fandom right there. Good chance to be on the front. Speed of the Speed could be out by more than a length, and it's going to get a 7-pound weight advantage today. So about a length and a half edge in that regard, and third start after layoff. So checking a lot of Terry's boxes. And then Whoosh, the watch. Might not look like it in the PPs, but did run a much better race last time out. And today, going to take 7 pounds off again. So maybe that's helpful. I'm going to take my remaining dollars and do a $1 50-cent trifecta, 1-2 over the 1-2-4, over the 1-2, 3, 4, and 8, and hope to come home a double winner at the end, Mr. Terry. That marks all of our picks for today. In the opener, the 6-1, and the second race, the 1-horse won. So the 6 went wire to wire. The 1-horse came from way back to the front. So who the hell knows what's going to happen today in terms of track bias, Terry? But we do know what we think will happen for the rest of the day, as you see here in our picks. Any final thoughts before we get out of here today?
Well, just hope you guys are getting prepared for the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga. I guess that's how they say it. Looks like some pretty good cards starting on probably Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, I think they open up on Thursday.
Yeah. Anyway, look pretty nice. And then just be safe and have a great time the rest of the week.
Apparently, you can't get into the track any of those days. They're all sold out. So if you're in that upper New York area, you're going to have to go scalp some tickets to get in. So maybe well worthwhile. Who knows?
Might be.
No matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, whether you're getting prepped for the Belmont at Saratoga, something like that, you crack the codes. Well, share that with us if you'd be so kind. How to crack the code and get out of the matrix, my man. And how to crack the code on fixing a something that costs $200 but costs $4,000 to replace because they got to take the whole engine out. Well, who would design something like that, Terry?
I don't know.
Anyway, that being said, we certainly hope that no matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, whether you're trying to figure out how to get a new car, trying to figure out who's going to win the race, or trying to figure out your life goals, no matter what it is you're trying to do, we certainly hope, Terry, that somehow, some way, you run the right race and it ends up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us, Terry, and I will see you on Terrific Terry Tuesday.